never can stop. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe!
Hello everybody, good morning, Mac here, and welcome back to Saturday Morning Cartoons. Welcome back to our G.I. Joe series that we have this. G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Island Special Mission Beachhead, the last of the ones that I needed to complete my collection. You may remember that about a week ago, I did a short saying that Beachhead was back up for sale on Target. Well, here he is, and he came within a week, roughly, of ordering him. Right now, if you look on Target, he is sold out. No surprise there. But keep looking, keep checking, because I've noticed that some of these Cobra Island exclusives, ever since they started reissuing them, some of these Cobra Island exclusives have sold out, then they've come back, then they've sold out again, and then they've come back. I really think Hasbro is trying to get these into the hands of people without having to go through like eBay or scalpers or anything like that. But now, taking a look at this, the last one I need for the line, I just got this today being Friday, the day I'm recording this, and we have our basic package, G.I. Joe Classified. We have his name, Wayne Beachhead Sneeden, down on the bottom. We have the Special Missions Cobra Island logo over here. We have the unique piece of artwork of Beachhead, well, storming the beach on here, and it wraps around to another unique piece of artwork we have on the side right here. On this side, we have what they're calling their new file card system that is ridiculous. I absolutely hate this. He's number 10 in the series. Up top, we have a small window to let light down inside. And in this window box, we can see all of the accessories that he comes with. And truthfully, I'm already seeing something I'm going to have a little bit of an issue with once we get this open. Whoop. But on back, we have Cobra Island itself. And I've noticed that with every Cobra Island figure we get, different sections of the island, like here we have the communications center, here we have some sort of base. Different sections of the island have been highlighted. I don't know if that's supposed to mean anything. I don't know if that's any relation to the figure inside. I'm not sure. But what I do know is this is the first one that we've gotten, or at least the first one that I've received, that is a Joe that is a Cobra Island exclusive. And we can see he has a different background behind him in the box. So once we get him open, we'll take a look and we'll see what that is. So let's just do that now. No more stalling. Let's rip this box open and let's get him out of there, and we will take a look at G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Island Special Missions Target Exclusive Beachhead. Alright friends, here he is, Beachhead out of the box, and he's not bad. To be completely honest, he's not a bad figure. Now, I never had Beachhead when I was a kid. I never had him as part of the vintage line, so I don't have any real attachment to him like I've had to some of the other ones that we've taken a look at. I always kind of wanted him, but I never really had a big rush to get him because I had Stalker, and since we don't have Stalker yet, I figured I'd get this guy. So, from what I remember of the figure, this, once again, like a lot of the newer ones and a lot of the Cobra Island figures, this is pretty much a really good representation of his vintage figure, all grown up into the 6-inch scale. So speaking of 6-inch, let's put the tape measure to him, and we'll see how Beachhead measures up in the line. And you see to the top of his head, he comes in at approximately, well, pretty much dead on, 6 1/4 inches tall. So he will scale up with the rest of the G.I. Joe Classified line. Now, as far as articulation goes, what they did with Beachhead right here is he has this hinge joint with a ball joint on top, which means, get back on there, which means he can really crank and look up, and he can bury the chin and look down. His head will do a full 360. Not a whole lot of tilt to him. He has a butterfly joint in his shoulders. Arms will do a full rotation. Come up to the sides. Not quite, well, about 90 degrees. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows with some really good travel. Wrist swivel. Now, his left wrist pivots up and down. His right wrist, however, pivots in and out. And I don't know, I guess Beachhead is a lefty. That's all I can say. Underneath all of this tack gear, I think he has an ab crunch, but because of how heavy this vest is that he's wearing, you can't really get much out of him. Okay, and even that little bit that we got, I'm pretty sure is coming from the ball joint that he has at his waist. So you can get a little bit of back, you can get a little bit of forward, and you can do a waist twist. Now the legs, he has drop down legs, so he can come all the way out to the side. Go forward, not so much back. He has thigh swivel, double jointed knees, once again with some really good travel on them. He has a boot cut that's hidden underneath all of this armor right here in his boot. Ankle goes back, forward not so much, and then a forward facing pin for some rocker. So he has all of the articulation that a G.I. Joe classified figure has, everything we've come to expect. And if you take a look, mine is the blue-eyed variant. I believe it came with blue eyes and one of them came with brown eyes. I didn't mind, that didn't matter to me one way or the other, but I got the blue-eyed variant of him. So, that is the figure. Let's get to the accessories. He has one that I'm really excited about, and I don't know why. It's just something really simple. But he comes with this red beret, and I really like this beret. I really like this. I don't think the vintage figure had this. I think this is just something that they made for him. And it fits so well, so perfectly on his head. Like he wouldn't wear this in combat, but it just fits. It is a nice touch of color to break up the green and the browns that we have here. And it looks really good on him. It looks really good on him. Like, it almost completes him. Like, without it, even though this is like his mission guys, he looks, you don't realize how incomplete he looks until you pop that on him. And you just see him standing there with the red beret, and I really like that. The other, he has a lot of weapons. Well, not a lot, but he has more than normal. And this is one of my first issues, probably my only real issue with the figure, is I have accepted that the G.I. Joe Classified line is going to have these future sci-fi Nerf gun-style weapons for the foreseeable future. But why green, Hasbro? Why mold everything in this green? It just adds to the unrealistic look of the weapons. Like, you could have easily molded all of these in black, and it wouldn't have looked nearly as gaudy. Like, I get that they color matched it to his body mold, but I don't know. That's just a lot of green. He comes with this assault rifle type weapon. He comes with this pistol. That the pistols are starting to be uniform. Well, not starting to be, but the pistols are pretty much uniform across the Joes, and I really like that. Like, it's their standard issue. And he has a hip holster, like most of the Joes do, that you can just slide that and pop that right in like that. Also, he comes with this backpack that I really like. I like the detail on here. You see he has these bolts, these crossbow bolts here. I'm not entirely sure what this piece right here is supposed to be. It kind of looks like a missile, but then it also has this cable hooked up to it, like maybe it's some sort of antenna, or maybe it's hooked up to a launch system. I'm not really sure. Or that's the exhaust, and it just vents everything out the bottom here. I don't know. Almost has a Boba Fett style quality to it. Maybe I should get a Mandalorian backpack and slap it on him and see how that looks. But he also has this crossbow, which once again, I'm not really sure why he has this crossbow. I don't remember the vintage figure having this crossbow. As a matter of fact, this crossbow, if it was black, this is something that Scarlet should have come with. That one that Scarlet has is just so over-engineered that something simple like this would have been a perfect fit for Scarlet. But he can also holster this in a way that you can see this backpack has this hole in here that the handle of the crossbow just pegs right in. Pegs right in, and it fits on his backpack like so. And that's really cool too. The only other issue I have is that even though his backpack has this long peg, it's like the hole is too big, that it doesn't really seat well in Beachhead's back. Like, it has to go through this really thick vest, and then it gets to the peg hole in his back, and it just doesn't seem to seat right. That there's a little bit of flare out, and also when I was posing him, the backpack kept falling off, and that's something that can be easily fixed with some blue tack. But you really like, when you have to go through all of the trouble to get the figure that I had to go through and all of the waiting, you kind of want the thing to be a complete figure whenever you get him. And finally, he has his combat knife, once again molded in green. And this, like I said, the green just doesn't do it for me, but it is what it is. One thing that I really like, we've seen the Joes have sheaths on their vests. We've seen them have sheaths on their legs. Beachhead sheaths his. His is a boot knife, and I really like that. I really like that. Now, looking on the sculpt on him here, I don't think anything on Beachhead is reuse. You see he has these big shin pads down here on his boots. He has some really chunky boots going on. The lacing up top, the shin pads, the armored knee pads, you can see there, all in this brown. I don't think these legs are reused from anything. I think these are new to him, but I could be very, very wrong about that. He has his normal tack gear that the Joes are coming with, these pouches on the side. He has his holster over here. His vest is really well detailed, and I like how they have black on the outside and brown on the inside, so it's not all one uniform color. Kind of like how the Cobra Trooper, the Cobra Island Cobra Trooper was, with some black and a little bit of blue. But honestly, I like the infantry better with the blue and the gray. But I do like the look of this, and it's a very armored look on his back. Like he's wearing some heavy armor, so if anybody tries to shoot him in the back, he'll be protected back here. I like the ribbing, like the almost sweater look of his shirt, of his sweater top. This is very reminiscent, if I remember correctly, this is very reminiscent of the vintage figure as well. Like I said, I didn't have the vintage figure, so I could be wrong about that. All the way up to his mask, in the quilted look of the mask. I really like that. I even like how it has the outline of his ear right here. If it would have come with anything that it didn't come with that I would have liked to have seen, it would have been an unmasked head. Because Beachhead, it's not some big secret. He just wears a mask for like covert operations. I would have liked to have seen an unmasked head to put on him. Maybe I'll find one someplace else and we'll be able to get an unmasked head on him to see what Beachhead finally looks like. I even like this off color here on the back of the arms and for the elbows. Everything looks really good. This is a really good all grown up representation, like I said, of Beachhead from the 3 3/4 figure from the 80s. And here he is alongside some of the other Joes from the line, the standard retail release of the Cobra Infantry and the Heavy Artillery Roadblock. You can see that he's on par with the Cobra Infantry, so he's the average height of the figures. Not as tall as Roadblock, but Roadblock is a beefy boy. Here he is, the Jazzwares Wicked Cool Toys Spartan Series Cat and Master Chief. These figures are taller than the standard 6-inch figures, but they're supposed to be. They're Spartans. They're supposed to be taller. So if you want to try and fit the Spartans into your G.I. Joe collection, this is actually a pretty decent scale, normal size human, compared to the Spartan Elite. And don't forget, Chief is one of the taller ones, even among Spartans. And here he is next to Jazzwares' legendary Fortnite series Havoc. And finally, here he is next to Lanyard Toys City Hunter Predator and the Xenomorph Drone. So aside from my minor issues with the coloring of the weapons, I really like this figure. I mean, I really like this. This is probably one of my favorites that has come out of the G.I. Joe Classified line so far. And I'm not just saying that because he's a Cobra Island exclusive. I'm not just saying that because I was finally able to get him without having to pay the scalper prices. And I'm not just saying that because he was the last figure I needed to complete my personal collection, meaning that I now have all of the figures that I want from the line. I don't have all of the figures, I just have all the figures that I want. And I'm saying that I really like this figure because I really like the sculpt on him. I really like the design on him. I really love the color palette used on him. The green bodysuit, the brown pants, the brown and black tactical vest. The red beret just makes everything, just sets the whole thing off. I could do without the bright green weapons. If they didn't want to make them black because that would be too dark, they could have easily made them like silver or gray or something like that. But the green just doesn't do it for me. If I was able to get another one of these figures, I would probably paint the weapons myself. But because I'm probably only going to get one Beachhead, I'm not going to go over and repaint the weapons. I'm just going to have to get like a third-party weapons pack to re-outfit him. But other than that, other than the coloring of the weapons, he's a really solid figure. I really like this guy. I'm really glad he's part of my collection, and he's going to look great on the shelf with the rest of them. Now, you may notice that in this video, and there's actually going to be a part 2 today that you'll see with Baroness, another Baroness figure later after this one, that the lighting may look funky. I have a new lighting rig. I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring out how best to light up these videos. So if it doesn't look quite right, I do apologize for that. But it's a learning curve with the new lighting setup. But I do hope you enjoyed this. I hope you liked Beachhead. I do hope that anybody who wanted this figure is able to get him. And like I said, just keep checking Target. They seem to be getting in more inventory, more stock of the Cobra Island exclusives. So it's definitely worth checking their app, checking their website, seeing what you can get. And I hope that everybody that wants one of these can get one. So until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.
Determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare.